You're sitting in a meeting. Everything seems completely normal. People are listening, taking notes, checking their laptops. Then suddenly, someone across the table lets out a huge yawn. Nothing unusual so far. But what happens next is where things get strange. A few seconds later, another person yawns. Then another, and another. Before you know it, the entire room looks sleepy. It's almost like yawning spreads from person to person, like a virus. But why does that happen? Why is yawning contagious? Why can simply seeing someone make you want to yawn too? Even reading the word yawn can sometimes trigger one. Scientists have been trying to answer this question for decades. And the answer is much more interesting than you might think. For a long time, scientists believed yawning had something to do with oxygen. The theory was simple. When your body wasn't getting enough oxygen, or when carbon dioxide levels became too high, your brain triggered a yawn to help restore balance. At first, this explanation seemed to make perfect sense. But then researchers tested the idea. People were given extra oxygen. Others breathed air with higher levels of carbon dioxide. If the theory were true, yawning rates should have changed dramatically. But they didn't. The results were clear. The oxygen theory simply didn't hold up. So if yawning isn't really about oxygen, what is actually happening inside our brains? To answer that question, we need to talk about something fascinating: mirror neurons. Think of mirror neurons as your brain's copycat system. When you see someone smile, part of your brain reacts as if you were smiling too. It's almost like your brain is quietly rehearsing what it sees. The same thing happens with emotions. When you see someone get hurt, you might cringe. You know you're not injured, but your brain still reacts. For a brief moment, it shares part of that experience. Or think about itching. Have you ever seen someone scratching their arm and suddenly felt itchy yourself? That's your brain responding to what it sees, without you even realizing. Scientists believe contagious yawning may work in a similar way. You see someone yawn, your brain recognizes the action. Mirror neurons become active, and before you know it, your own body starts preparing to yawn too. It's like your brain presses a hidden copycat button. But mirror neurons aren't the whole story. There's another important ingredient: empathy. The ability to understand and share the feelings of other people. Researchers discovered something interesting. We're much more likely to catch yawns from people we feel connected to, not strangers, people we actually care about. Friends, family members, romantic partners. The stronger the emotional connection, the stronger the contagious effect often becomes. And humans aren't the only species that do this. Chimpanzees catch yawns from each other too, which suggests contagious yawning may be linked to social bonding. Not just in humans, but across different species. Even dogs can catch yawns from humans, especially from owners they know and trust, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. A yawn can cross species. So here's the real answer. Yawning isn't contagious because of oxygen. It's likely connected to mirror neurons, your brain's natural tendency to imitate what it sees. And empathy appears to make that effect even stronger. In other words, yawning may be a reflection of how social our brains really are. Here's a fun fact. Studies have found that people who catch yawns more easily often score higher on empathy tests. That doesn't mean every yawn measures empathy, but it does suggest an interesting connection. Now I'm curious, how many times did you yawn while watching this video? Once? Twice? Maybe more than that? If you enjoyed this explanation, make sure to subscribe for more fascinating questions about the human brain. There are thousands of everyday mysteries hiding in plain sight, and we're just getting started. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.